Have you ever found yourself buying a gorgeous planner and you're so filled with excitement and giddiness to use it because you're going to become more organized and more productive now that you have this planner, but then you find it only goes untouched because either you're afraid of messing it up and you don't know what to write in it, or you find it collecting dust on a shelf because you've just been inconsistent with using it? Don't worry, you're not alone. Many people struggle with knowing how to actually use their planner and stay consistent with it. That's why in today's video, I'm gonna share with you some surefire ways that are actually gonna help you use your planner to be more organized, to be more productive, and bring more peace into your daily routine. So dust off that planner, grab a pen, and let's dive into these tips. So the first thing I wanna talk about is, instead of thinking about your planner as your saving grace that's gonna come into your life and just make everything all better, I want you to think of your planner as a tool to reach your goals. This is going to help you be more intentional with your planner, and now that you have a defined purpose with it, you'll be more consistent with actually using it. And you're going to do this by planning with intention. Really, your planner and your plans should be a strategy to help you get from point A to point B. So that first starts off with deciding what that point B is for you. What is that dream life for you? What's most important for you in your life right now, in whatever season that you are in right now? And defining that first before you just jump into planning is going to help you be more intentional about using your planner. And it's also going to help you be more connected to it because you know you're using it as a tool to get to this predetermined place that you're trying to go in your life. That could be personal goals, business goals, professional goals, whatever those are. Before you dive into using your planner, I always suggest defining what are your current goals in your life so you can use your planner as a way of getting there. And that is exactly why I created my Mod Ambition Goal Planner. I will tell you guys up front, just honestly, I'm going to be talking about my planner, but you don't have to use my planner. You can tweak this system to use with your own planner if you already have one, or if you're interested in checking this one out, you can, I'll link it below. But the reason I created this goal planner in the way that I did is, first, this is my personal one, so I have some stuff in there. I have my goal planning section at the beginning just for this reason. It helps you clarify your values. It helps you determine what are your goals using evidence-based psychology. That way, when you jump into using your planner, you're using your plans as reverse goal setting. And what I mean by that is, in the initial section, and you can do this on your own, you determine those goals, you determine what season of life you're in, all those things that are most important to you right now. And then it's broken down into quarterly planning, monthly planning, weekly planning, and daily planning pages. And I suggest you do your own planning in the same way to have multiple milestones so that you can reverse goal set in a way to move you towards those larger goals. So now that you have the larger picture, you can set your 12-week year goals or your 90-day goals, and you can plan a strategy for that quarter to help you get there. That's going to move you closer to those larger goals that you have. And then similarly, you have your monthly planning that does the same thing to help you move you closer to your quarterly intention. You have your weekly goals and intention and plan to move you closer to that monthly one. And then you have that daily time blocking. You have all those planning pages in this planner that I created. Now, you won't find that in most planners because it's just more affordable for them to give you one type. But the reason I created my planner with all the different types of planning pages is because I am a neuropsychologist, and I know that the more we can wrap our brain around something, a plan, a strategy, the easier it's going to be to achieve. So by breaking it into all those milestones, it gives our brain a better chance at actually following through with what we're planning. So it really helps our executive functioning in our brain. So whether you use my planner or any other planner, start with your goals and then use reverse goal setting as a way to plan a strategy to get there. You'll be more connected to your plan. You'll be more connected in turn to your planner. And then I would say the two most, if you're going to just choose two ways to plan, let's say you don't have my planner, I definitely think the weekly planning and the daily planning are really most helpful, and also monthly. But if you had to choose two, the reason I say that is because weekly planning really gives you a chance to in a more frequent way, kind of restart and reset for whatever it is that you're trying to get back on track with or stay on track with. So weekly planning really keeps your eye on the ball of what you're trying to achieve. And then the daily planning, and I'll put some pages of how mine is structured in my planner, really helps you with time blocking. So you can be more realistic with your time, you can have greater time awareness, and you can really see, hey, what can I actually fit into my day? Once you kind of get addicted to daily planning, it'll make it more easy to actually stick with using your planner, whatever planner that you have, because you have learned how efficient it is, and it kind of helps to keep you on track with staying productive throughout the day. So those are the two that I would really suggest that kind of gonna get you tied into planning in a way that's really addictive and help you actually use your planner. Okay, moving on, I also want you to use your planner as a tool to help you stay organized. So it's going to be a tool like we used in that first step to help you come up with that strategy and that plan to reach your goals, but it's also going to be a tool in your day-to-day life to help you stay organized and kind of balance the mental load of all the things you have going on in your life, especially if you are a busy mom like me or just a busy professional or busy student. We can hold a lot of things in our brain. This will help you be more consistent with using it because you will get this sense of relief, and it'll give you this sense of peace from using it in this way. And then it'll also help you just be more efficient by using it in this way. So let's talk about how I do that. One of the main ways that I do that is incorporating tenets of the book Getting Things Done. This is a book that I have heavily relied on in the last couple of years to really develop my productivity system. One of the best things that it teaches in there is the capture method. So I have an entire video on the Getting Things Done method. So quickly, let me say all the steps in the process so you can get an overall idea of this system. So the Getting Things Done structure of Getting Things Done is to capture all your things that you need to do and organize, to clarify those items, to organize those items, to reflect on your process, and to engage with your system. So my planner, I largely use it in the steps of capturing and engaging. So to help me stay organized and deal with that mental load, a lot of the capturing I do is in my second brain in my Notion, which is digital, but there's some moments that I don't have time to digitally input things, or I don't want to go to my phone to input things, or I'm working on something in my computer. So when I have an idea of something I want to do, but I'm focused on the work that I'm doing, I don't want to lose that idea, but I also don't want to have the mental load of keeping it. Like mail pieces and things, items that I'm working on currently that are physical usually go for me right here, and I review them in my weekly review. I also capture things in my day-to-day notes process, which I'll show you. This week I don't have anything but some jotted notes, but in the notes section under my daily planning section, I will also capture things, and I know to look at that when I'm doing my weekly review to add it to my running to-do list. I also do have that running to-do list that I just mentioned here in my weekly planning that I reference as well when I'm planning my week, that I capture things in as well. So that's where I capture things when I'm not capturing them in my Notion. And again, this is just a way to use your planner to take the load off of your brain and not lose those fleeting ideas and those to-dos. And then when you're in your weekly review process, which I'll talk about in just a second, that's when you're going to clarify those items, you're going to organize them, put them where they need to be, and take care of them. But your planner can be a great way during the week to capture those things so you don't lose them. I want to mention what not to do with your planner here in this step is I don't want you to overly put pressure on your planner. And what I mean by that is don't count on it to do everything. I am very much a hybrid girly, so I use my paper planner, but I also use digital tools to help me stay organized and to stay efficient and productive. And one of the great things about this is it doesn't put so much pressure on my planner that it becomes overwhelming when I look at it. For instance, my projects do not go in my planner because my projects usually span over a length of time, and I want a bird's eye view of all the tasks in them and everything that I've done. And anything that I want a bird's eye view of, I don't put that pressure on my planner. My planner, like I said, is largely for brainstorming, so brainstorming my goals and capturing my to-dos, and then also engaging in the day-to-day, so engaging with my daily plan, time blocking, engaging with my weekly plan, that kind of stuff. Don't feel like you have to put everything in your planner, all your home projects, all your life areas, everything, because that's going to make it feel overwhelming and you'll be less likely to use it. Really delineate and decide for yourself what's going to be the best use of your paper planner, and then kind of stick to that so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about is how to stay consistent with your paper planner. So some of the major problems that we have when we get our shiny new beautiful planners is just being able to use them consistently. We may use them at the beginning and then we fall off track, and it can be very disheartening and disappointing. So here's some tips on actually how to stay consistent with using that planner. The first thing that I want you to do is to keep it top of mind. So I designed my Mod Ambition planner to be a desktop planner to stay on your desk and kind of stay open when you're working, so you can always kind of be acquainted with it. I know a lot of folks also like to have their planners more on the go, which is why I created the A5 size in a planter printable if you would like it in a smaller version, but you want my system. But whatever you do, keep it open so that you can see it and it stays top of mind. Don't throw it in your bag, don't throw it in your purse, don't put it up on a shelf, because even if you have an off day, if it is in your face, if it is on your desk where you're working, you'll come back to it. The other thing that's gonna help you be consistent is having a planning routine. This is gonna be something that's gonna bring you back, so even when there are those days, like you said, that you're human and you fall off track with using your planner, or you don't plan that day, having that weekly planning reset routine is going to help you get back on track with using it. So at the beginning of any habit, track it. That's evidence has shown that tracking our habits or make them more likely for us to achieve. So use a habit tracker when you're first starting off and track each week when you are using your planner. Give yourself that little check, and then if you didn't plan, kind of think about, what got in your way so you can course correct for that. And then the other thing is doing it at the same time each week. So I typically do mine on Friday, and then I make it a non-negotiable, which I suggest the same thing for you. And what I mean by that, if it doesn't get done Friday, it has to get done the first thing Monday morning before I start my week, because it is a non-negotiable. And having this kind of reset routine with my planner helps me for those seasons or those times that I'm sick and I do fall off track with using it, but I do have this system in place, this routine in place to get me back on track the next week. And then another thing that will help you stay consistent with that planning routine is set an alarm on your phone, not a reminder in the reminders app. I'm talking about an alarm actually in your clock app that will go off when it's time for you to sit down planning. I find that just setting it as a calendar appointment, which is helpful, we can kind of dismiss that easily. 15 minutes so you need to plan, But if you have an alarm, it's more like triggering, because we don't have that many alarms usually set for ourselves, and that'll help you kind of remind you and get in the groove of using your planner. So that'll help you in your routine. I also did want to talk to you guys a little bit very quickly about what I do in my weekly review process, which includes my weekly planning routine. I do have a PDF checklist for free that you can download of this, which is what I'm going to be going through. I also have a free Notion template with my getting things done weekly review process. That is actually the template that I use each week. There's a button in there that you can reset it each week to remove all the check marks so that it's a nice, fresh, clean page each time you go in there. But if you're also just a paper person, I have the PDF for you as well. So I'm going to go through the PDF quickly and just share what I do in my weekly planning routine. It starts with preparing myself. So I clean off my desk, I tidy my workspace. I want to be in a clear state of mind when I'm planning. File away any notes, and I capture any last minute tasks or ideas. And what I mean by capture is adding them to my second brain tasks section. I have a quick add task button, which I'll put up a picture here of that. In anything that I didn't have a chance to capture through the week, I'll do that in my preparation stage. And then part one of my weekly review process is I review in a reflective kind of way. So I review my 12-week year lead goals. So those are those SMART goals that I've set myself to do, those actionable things each week to help me move towards my goals. I'll review that. I'll review my wins and challenges of the previous week so I can double down on what's working, course correct on what's not working. I'll align with my monthly goals. So anytime I'm moving into a new segment of time, I like to review that past section. So when I'm planning my day, I look at my weekly plan. When I'm planning my week, I'll look at my monthly plan. When I'm planning my month, I look at my quarter. When I'm planning my quarter, I look at my year. So in my weekly review process, I look back at my monthly goals to make sure that this week stays aligned with those goals so I stay on track with my goals. Then I put all my meetings from my digital calendar, which I use iCal, into my weekly planning page. That way, any to-dos I want to do that week are kind of puzzle pieced around the meetings that I have that can't be moved, that are non-negotiable. So I put those in first. I glance over each week, usually my someday maybe projects. So those are those things, as an ambitious person, I'm always coming up with ideas. I don't automatically add them onto my plate. I always add them to a someday maybes page in my Notion and my projects page. And I'll look in that every week to see if I want to move anything over to the projects inbox to actually start. Usually the answer is no, because I have so much on my plate already, but I like to keep those ideas. And then I review the current active projects and add any tasks that may need to be added to those projects. So within my Notion, each project, there's a projects page within my second brain, and each project has its own page. Within the page for each project, there are tasks, resources, and notes. And all the tasks are linked directly to my overall task page. So even though it's listed here for each project, I'll have it on my task page, which I'll get into in just a second. And I also have linked resources and linked notes for my notes database. So I will add any tasks that need to be added to projects, but generally I write that all out when I'm starting the project. So that's part one. It's just kind of reviewing the week, reviewing past goals, reviewing projects. Then the second part of my weekly review, and by the way, this takes me about 20 minutes each week, so it might sound like a lot, but once you get in the groove of it, it goes really quickly. Then I process my task to-do list. So I go into my Notion, I go into my second brain, I go into the task page. I look at the inbox. Those are all the tasks that I've been putting in during the week that I've been capturing to-dos that I haven't processed yet. Now is my time to clarify them and organize them. So I'll add a date that I want to get them done, and then I'll move them to either scheduled or due next for my inbox. If it's due next, that's an item I'm going to add to my weekly plan of running to-dos so I can make sure it gets scheduled for my week in my paper planner. If it's something that I have a date for a further week, it stays on that active ongoing task list in my Notion, so I don't have to rewrite it each week, but it's there and it will be scheduled the next time that I plan. So I take all those due next tabs that are marked as due next and I move them to my weekly plan in my paper planner. And then I organize the remaining items, and then I look at my life areas. So in my Notion second brain, there's also a page for life areas. The main one that I look at each week is like family. If there's any family things I need to get done, I have a trigger list for that. But YouTube and social media. So that's kind of an ongoing thing. It's not a project with an end date. That's kind of the difference between life areas and projects. Life areas are kind of just ongoing. I'm ongoingly posting on YouTube. So I'll look at anything that I need to do for social media for YouTube, and then I'll add it to my weekly running to-do list. So once I have everything from my Notion processed, I have this list on my weekly running to-do list that I can plug and play on days around the meetings that I've already put in on those days as non-negotiables. Then when it comes to the day of the week, which I usually just do this on the actual day of, I used to do all my time blocking for every day at the beginning of the week, but I just found it's more flexible to do it in the mornings. So what I'll do is I will look at what I had planned for my weekly plan for each day, and then the morning for that day, I time block out what I have planned, so all those meetings, and then any puzzle pieced to-do items I've put on the same day, I'll put them in on the actual times that I think I can get them done. So that is my weekly review process. Like I said, beginning will probably take you about 30 minutes. I've got it down to about 15 to 20 minutes. And then outside of your planning routine and also tracking your planning routine and keeping your planner top of mind, the other thing I want you to do to stay consistent is to start small. So start simple, make it really simple, and then elevate up. So you might see other people with all of these things in their planner, from stickers to tabs to dashboards, and it may just get you a little bit overwhelmed. I want you to start small, make it fun, make it easy. Like I like to do color coding with a highlighter just because I don't have time to do all the stickers and write on the stickers and the highlight. I write it and then I highlight by color code by highlighting versus using stickers. And some days I will make it decorative, usually when I'm planning my months because I show it to you guys. But in the day-to-day, the week-to-week, I'm just getting things done. I'm getting in, I'm getting out. And it's really just like a functional process for me. So for you, just decide in the moment what's best for you, what serves you, make it simple, make it fun, and don't overwhelm yourself. So those are my tips for you to how to actually use your planner. If you have some tips that I left out, I know there are some really productive, ambitious women that watch my channel. Be sure to leave them below so we can share the knowledge and wisdom. And thank you guys so much for watching my channel. I teed up a video I did on my total productivity system in case you want to learn more about that for you to watch next. And until next time, cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Namaste.